Hey folks, I'm Rupali, your host, and welcome to my channel Crime Hack. It's story time, and we are listening to Mystery of the Catacombish Tunnels, Episode 3. I would be publishing a new episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so mark your calendars and let's dive right in. Nayak Brothers and the Mystery of the Catacombish Tunnels by Rupali Rajapadhe Roti, Part 3. Aakash had gone missing, so his brother Dev called up his friends Raj and Sandy to help look for him. They were retracing Aakash's steps when they spotted a blood stain on the road and stopped to investigate. Sandy was pointing at some marks by the side of the road when he froze. He had heard something, but wasn't sure what it was and where the sound had come from. When Raj and Dev reached the spot, they saw drag marks on the dirt along with a few footprints. Raj counted the distinct sets. It seems as if 3 people have dragged someone, he mused, but Sandy was busy focusing on what he had heard. There it is again. Sandy raised his hand for silence, still undecided where the sound had come from. In another moment, all 3 of them heard a distant but clear groan and they rushed to the spot. There, behind the shrubbery, lay Aakash, gravely injured and slipping in and out of consciousness. In his delirium, he was cursing and groaning intermittently. "Oh my God, Aakash!" Dev dashed to his brother, looking terrified and tearful. Not knowing what to do or where to touch him, Dev sat clutching and rubbing his brother's hands, trying to convey that he was here now and that everything would be all right. This was so unlike Dev, and Sandy was surprised, while Raj, being Dev's best friend, knew better. Behind the indifferent attitude Dev had towards his brother or his whole family, Dev cared for them a lot. In fact, he was the most caring and sentimental among the lot, but never showed it. Sandy placed a call to 100 for the police and then 101 for an ambulance. Dev looked up at his friends helplessly. I had never imagined that this was the reason. And he choked. Without a word, Sandy squatted by his side and put a hand on his shoulders. Wasn't he riding his bike? Raj wondered aloud. I don't see it anywhere. Raj and Sandy did a quick inspection of the surroundings but found no trace of the bike anywhere. Few minutes later, an ambulance arrived and Aakash was hauled to the nearest hospital, where a policeman was already waiting for them. Dev looked sick as he watched Aakash being carried into the hospital on a stretcher. You want me to call your parents? Asked Raj. Dev ran a nervous hand through his hair. Considering their mother's nature, he and Aakash had always been confidants, sworn to keep each other's secrets. But this time, Dev didn't know what Aakash had done to attract trouble of this magnitude. Boy, we are done for this time, Dev mumbled to himself. Bhai's in the hospital, the bike's gone. God, kill me before mom and dad start asking questions. He prayed under his breath while Raj and Sandy looked on. The trio waited for half an hour, during which Aakash regained consciousness. As the doctor came out of the ICU, he looked searchingly at them. Who is family? Dev came forward with an anxious expression. The doctor spoke in a soft voice. His left femur and right fibula are fractured. He showed the X-ray of Aakash's legs. The swelling on his upper hands indicate muscle catches. There are minor injuries to his internal organs as well. The doctor paused. This seems to be a clear-cut case of beating. Then he added, well, since you have already called the police, the proceedings will be faster and easier. They might need your statements though. Putting a hand on Dev's shoulder, he informed, we will keep him in ICU for a day or two. Then added quickly, just for observation, of course. Your parents? I'm calling them right now, Dev assured, then added in apprehension. Doc, is he going to be all right? Don't worry, he can be fixed. Saying so, the doctor smiled and Dev breathed a sigh. You want to talk to him? I guess he is in shape enough to talk. Dev nodded. But only 10 minutes, okay? The doctor warned. After calling his parents, informing them about finding Akash and which hospital he was admitted to, the boys went inside the ICU. The police constable was already sitting by the bedside, waiting for his statement. Akash started talking. My legs? He tried to sit up. They are in the drawers by your bedside, Raj assured with a matter of fact voice, and Akash became horrified. Sorry, couldn't resist the temptation, Raj admitted. Oh man, you guys. Akash breathed a sigh of relief, but the constable shot Raj a dirty look and Raj decided to shut it for good. Could you tell me what happened? The constable inquired in a grim voice. I guess 3 guys attacked me. Akash was having difficulty talking, but he related all that had happened. So you had your bike before the attack? Sandy asked, impulsive as usual, and then bit his lip at the constable's expression. I had? Akash asked. Dave had been very silent all this while, seeing his brother all plastered up and swollen. Now he came to Sandy's rescue. How are you? He asked. Akash had been dying to hear his brother's voice. Patched up, I guess, he replied with a smile. Looking at him smile, a sudden rage surged in Dave. You got beaten up by a bunch of those pests, and you feel like joking right now? Akash looked up, his smile gone. You expect me to keep a long face now that everyone who visits me is going to remind me of the painful incident? And for a moment, Dave's tongue was tied and his eyes locked with his brother's eyes. Can you identify them? Dave asked. Akash shook his head in dejection, but added, Don't know why, but I think they said Priya.